Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode entitled Simulated Reality with SOLRETA. This is part 5, of course. You can find her work at SOLRETAPsychicreadings.com and also here on YouTube at SOLRETA Ontario. Let's give her a big warm welcome, SOLRETA. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me, and hello to everyone in the chat. I can see you there. Stephanie, I can see you, and I'm excited about our reading tonight as well.
Oh, awesome. Oh, that's great. I love that when there's the cross-pollination going. I really like that. And, you know, SOLRETA, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a lot of great comments for this show, and everybody feels uplifted. They're really happy. They're leaving comments on my Patreon everywhere. And I have to tell you, as much as I like reading their comments and I'm happy that people love this show, I like doing this show. So
yeah,
I'm happy to do it. Even if nobody listened, I would have these conversations with you any day of the week. So
yeah, same. I really feel that it causes you to look deeper within and to kind of like level up within yourself as well. I think these conversations, and the same with, you know, some of my core group of best friends, when we have these sorts of conversations, you just find that it changes. It's the whole quantum reality thing we've been talking about these past few weeks. It just, when you change something in here and it echoes in your outer world, it's amazing.
Sarah D is asking, is this show on SOLRETA's channel or JC's channel? It's on both channels. We are doing a simulcast. So if you're watching it on SOLRETA's channel, please do come over here at BeyondMystic and do subscribe. We're at, oh no, this is SOLRETA. So if you're watching on my channel, please do go and subscribe here at SOLRETA's channel here on YouTube, SOLRETA Ontario. And of course, if you're watching on SOLRETA's channel, you can find me here at BeyondMystic 2 here on YouTube. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on this live interactive show. I think we're going to start with, SOLRETA has a little bit of a new news item, a personal news item, and maybe a change or shift in trajectory in her life. So I'm going to give her time to explain that to you folks and maybe inspire some of you who are listening to the show. And then we'll get into our quantum deep woo-woo stuff. And if we're lucky, we might take a few personal questions during the show and some cards for you guys. So SOLRETA, what's going on in your life? What just happened? And tell the audience why you're so excited about this change.
Yeah, so you know that I did the move. So done the move, and why not change everything all at once? So the 2 days a week that I was in salon, so that was, you know how sometimes you need that security net, or you need that little buffer that you think is just keeping you safe. Hey to everyone. Yeah, so I actually quit my salon job that was 2 days a week, which, you know, the universe places you in places for a reason. So a lot of my clients that were coming in for facials or for eyebrows, I'd be doing my work and talking to them and like, your voice is so relaxing. You should record meditations or something. And then I'd be like, well, actually, that's what I do. This is my little side gig here in beauty. And so, you know, I end up writing it down, and we get talking about, meditation, which would lead to talking about psychic work. And they're like, I knew you were more than just a beauty therapist. And yeah, so I just thought, what am I doing? I had more bookings than the salon I work in. And I just thought, I'm sitting out the back one day at salon, and I'm like, this is crazy. I've got so much work that I'm actually working my weekends, and, you know, with my kids and everything, I really want to keep it to weekdays. So I just thought, no, I'm going to take the jump. And the girls that I work with are so beautiful. That's a big reason why I stayed. And one of my best friends there, she's like, you've got to do it. Just do it. She's like, as long as you come meet me for lunch on certain days. So yeah, that's my exciting news. And yeah,
I could just imagine being your boss, and you would tell me, oh, I'm striking up on my own. I'd be happy for you, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, we're gonna miss you. The clients are gonna miss you.
Yeah. My clients are, you know, they're like writing down my name. They're like, oh, tell me your channel. And yeah, it's really sweet.
SOLRETA's hard to forget, folks. So when you have her in your orbit, you're definitely going to miss her if she moves around a little bit. I can tell you that. So that's awesome. I'm excited for you. And of course, SOLRETA, anything I can do on this show here to promote you and to help you grow.
Thank you, JC.
I really love your energy, the work that you do, your authenticity. It shines through. Of course, you've been with me here since I started this channel. So let me know. And of course, I'm always happy to promote you and
thank you so much.
Whatever help you need, whether it's website or promotional stuff, you tell me. And
which is all about to get redone. I'm actually getting my first logo. Never had a logo, but I'm getting a full rebranding done. So
awesome.
Yeah, probably in about 8 weeks' time, there'll be something very, very special.
Wow, very cool. Awesome. Okay. And we have another piece of news. Well, actually, before we get to the other piece of news, I said before we introduced the fact that SOLRETA had some news for you that perhaps it would inspire other people to do the same. So speak about that a little bit here, because this whole health situation during this last year, as horrible as it was, I'll say as was, so we're gonna manifest that it was
I love it.
no longer is, right? As horrible as it was also a catalyst for change for a lot of people. And for some people, they chose to make that jump, to empower themselves, to disconnect from the matrix, to disconnect themselves from this machine that really chews us up and spits us out, and to strike out on their own. And this is exactly what you're doing now. So talk to the audience about that feeling, and maybe give them words of wisdom and advice to maybe take that step for themselves.
Yeah, so the image spirit keeps showing me is Mary Poppins. So what I felt, even though I was, working in that job 2 days a week and doing my ultimate passion, which is what I do now, and it's what I do with you as well, and chatting to people and doing cards and doing clairvoyant psychic readings and everything that I do to do with like the ETs and talking about quantum physics and all this, working in natural medicine. Even when I was in my day job, I was still me. And I think that's what we forget, is that, that authentic self, we need to show up with that. No matter what job we're doing, we need to show up as that authentic self. And I think that's why it would echo to my clients. I wasn't trying to pretend to be someone that I wasn't. And that was still another job that I was quite good at. But yeah, I felt like Mary Poppins. I felt that it was just, blowing into town for a short time, coming in to give the medicine and to maybe have a couple of songs and some dances. And then it's time for, the umbrella up and to fly away. And I also liken it to Johnny Depp and Chocolat, the beautiful woman who makes the chocolate, and the chocolate is the medicine. It's like this alchemy chocolate, and some people bite into it, and they have it as an aphrodisiac, and others bite it and it changes their life. And I feel that I'm like, oh, the north wind is blowing. It's taking me somewhere else. So I feel like I'm about to go on an adventure. Awesome. This time the adventure is solely for myself. So that's exciting. So I just really want to have fun with it. And I feel that, the more that I have fun with it, and the more that I just am that authentic self, the more that manifest. And I just love it. And the more that I get clients that are really, part of that soul family, because a lot of my clients that I read for, there does feel like that connection. And I just feel really blessed to read for others, where we're on that same level, that same like-mindedness. And the conversations are incredible. And I learn from spirit too. The things that come up in the sessions. Thank you, Jenny. I'm so glad you love it. Yeah, the things that come up in sessions for me with clients, it's like you said, you can do that all day, every day. It's the people that we get to work with. And I just feel so blessed and so grateful. I really do.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And folks, of course, Jenny's on the screen here. Alicia, she's a really good supporter of our show as well. And she got a reading from SOLRETA, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe now, 3 weeks ago. And she got her aura drawing. So SOLRETA, when she does her reading, she also draws your aura as she sees you, and some of the attachments, some of the ET influences, guide spirits that are surrounding you. So these are very fascinating. Sarah and I got our auras done, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago now, and we thought it was absolutely fascinating. And she hit the nail on quite a few things. And again, guys, if you haven't tried a reading with SOLRETA, give it a try. Right now, you can find her again at solretapsychicreadings.com is the website. It's on the screen. The description is in the link below. The link is in the description below. And the coupon code for this week, what do you got going on for the Beyond Mystic audience here?
Yeah, so it's all capitals and it's quantum.
Okay, so let me bring that down to the chat.
So there's only 10 available. So they do tend to go quite fast, but yeah, that gives you $30 off the 2-hour readings, whether it's a reading for couples, because I draw side by side what's happening in a couple's aura individually and together. So they're a lot of fun working with couples. And I also do individual 2-hour reads too.
So which one is it? It doesn't matter which 2-hour reading?
For each of them that are 2 hours. So for this one, and then the one underneath. So the coupon code, you get $30 off. So I've got 10 available.
Very good. Well, that's awesome. So give it a try, folks. 10 available. They go by pretty quick. Lupe says it takes faith to take the leap. Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Lupe.
Yeah. And it's that whole idea of mastering the woo and surfing the wave of the woo. So when the wave is taking you somewhere, don't go against it. Universe is usually on your side, right? If you're listening.
And it's so funny because, you know, the universe, the clients that would get sent to me were some of those beautiful clients that had, you know, either newly on the spiritual path or they'd been walking it since before I was born.
Right.
So the universe always just sends you people that are meant to be in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. John says, hey, wish you the best. Wish the best for SOLRETA. Yeah, absolutely. John's amazing. He's in your next of the week.
Oh, thank you, John. He's so sweet.
Yeah. Lisa. Oh, yeah. She says we did too. We got the auras done. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, she had a couples reading. It was beautiful. I've read for a few of her family members.
Very good. Okay, I have the link here. Let me bring that up on the screen. So there you go, folks. Of course, the hot link is in the chat and in the description box below. So another part of news before we get into the show tonight, SOLRETA and I are really excited also because we finally have a venue, a mechanism where we can have our shows about raising Kundalini. So last year, SOLRETA and I tried to start a series here on YouTube where we were going to explain the nature of raising Kundalini, Egyptian magic that starts with an S. So we don't get triggered here. And what was funny, as we were about to go live last year with that show, YouTube pulled us before we went live, simply by the description and the title. And I had challenged that on my first YouTube channel, and they had said, yeah, we looked at your content and we decided it wasn't appropriate. And I'm like, well, we haven't even produced the content yet. We were about to go live with the show. So just to tell you why it's been so long, and SOLRETA and I couldn't get this show together for you guys. But at that time when I got pulled, I remember doing this little commercial here, and it was like, yeah, like that Tom Cruise movie. What was it called? Not Pre-Crime. Pre-Crime was the office he worked at. What was it called? Minority Report, where the psychics were preventing crime by stopping it before people actually committed the crime. So I thought, okay, YouTube prevented us from doing the show before we did the show. So
I couldn't believe that. Amazing.
All that to say that SOLRETA and I are now up and ready here on our pay-per-view page here at beyondmystic.net/pay-per-view to start this series again. And so if you scroll down, and I won't read this on the screen here, you'll have the full explanation of what this series is all about. It's an incredible series. This was the poster also that got us in trouble last time. There's a lot of symbology in there as well. So in this series, SOLRETA and I are going to be not only talking about some of these concepts. And again, this show is about empowerment. It's not about porn. It's not about salacious information. It's about empowerment. Two parts. One, how to disconnect yourself from the energy extraction matrix that is running on the planet. And two, once you've done that, that's the first step. Two is how you empower yourself with your own energy source and how you create a higher charge, which you can then apply to your manifestation, to creating the reality that you're in. Of course, we are in this simulated reality, and the more energy you put to it, the more you can achieve. So that's what this series is going to be about, folks. I'll bring the link down. It is available now on pre-order, so you guys can go and check that out now. And if you think that you want to see more of these episodes, please do also join us on our Patreon Insider Access Pass. There you'll have access to all of our pay-per-view uncensored content. So if you're going to watch more than one episode, might be best to do that on the long run here. So tell me, SOLRETA, how excited are you that we can finally do this show that you and I are working on?
I'm actually so excited. I'm trying to keep my energy contained because I've been having just electrics going off. Remember last week we spoke and I'd had electrical issues.
Yep.
So I've just been getting really excited with all of the change, and I'm trying to not blow my computer up. I was on the phone to Apple yesterday just with tech issues and like full crashes, but yeah, it's other electrical things. It's not just like a one-off type thing. So I'm just trying to contain myself, but I'm really excited because like you said, like when you do know how to work with that energy and you know how to open those gates and things, right, you are able to use that to harness different things around you in the universe. And have amazing experiences. So I can't wait. I'm sure it's going to be the most incredible show.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to bring in the Tantra. We're going to bring in the Taoist point of view and the Egyptian point of view as well. So the thrice
and a bit cosmic too.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and you know what's funny? We're going to talk about these mystery schools who are still holding this information behind a wall of secrecy for the most part. The elites, of course, have full access to this, but we're also going to be talking about how that ties into our quantum reality and how we live in an electrical universe. And so again, it's all about energy. So the more energy you apply to your life, the more you have the potential for the results that you want. So I'm very excited about it too. So, and so far this pay-per-view now, we're in the second week, running strong. We've had amazing, crazy episodes, and I've had quite a few reviews already on that. Those people are saying, oh my God, finally, we can say what we mean. We can mean what we say. It's just so refreshing to do the show that way.
It is.
Yeah, and of course, there is a little cost associated to that because it's not free. We have to pay for the server access and the bandwidth and the software that runs all of this stuff for you guys. So hopefully at $1.99 per episode, and we have coupon codes in there as well to make it more affordable for you guys. And on the long run, as I said, if you're a Patreon member, you get all of this stuff for free. So Retta, let's start with a general reading of energy this week. We've had quite a bit of a week here in the Schumann resonance, running off the chart here. A lot of people were reporting on my show and through my Patreon that they were getting heart palpitations, having trouble sleeping. And there was also this energies. I'm not sure if it was a coronal mass ejection or one of those waves coming from the sun also that was hitting us in the last couple of days. So what's shaping up here this week? What's going on for the planetary consciousness?
Yeah, so I've had one card fall out already. It's interesting because it's really talking about labor pains. There's been one card fall out face out. So I'm just picking the other cards. Okay, they're giving me 4. So let me just feel into it. This is the first card that's fallen out face out. So we've got the card of oppression. So in some levels, we are seeing oppression, but what they're showing me is the significance is the closeness of these two wands. So with the Schumann frequency, not only have we had long, deeper pulses of energy happening on the planet, but they've been coming closer together, just like contractions. You know, they start off bigger and further. We've got a cockatoo outside just agreeing with me. It's beautiful being back in nature. So yeah, what we're seeing is those contractions are coming faster and faster. So labor has definitely started, as we can see from how often the pulses are coming in Schumann frequency. But what we have to do with this is just stay in alignment with our true self. So things will start to shake, things will start to vibrate around you. The other thing that you'll have is you might have things that are not supposed to be in your life start to vibrate out. And this is anything that's going to oppress you, anything that's going to hold you back or make you feel that you can't have that full expression of who you are. So really important to hold strong in the face of oppression. That's the energy I'm getting with this. And orange to me speaks of confidence. So we can see in the background just how important that confidence is. Green to me speaks of the heart. And to think about, you know, if there is moments of oppression and different things, that it's a lesson to speak up. It's a lesson to, to start walking even further on your path. Because with this card, we have a Saturn energy. Now, Saturn is usually kind of tied in with government structures and to do with, systems and trying to keep things, neat and tidy, and it should be done this way, and regime, and it's going to be done by the book. So we are kind of breaking free of this Saturn energy, which when the Uluru Saturn Jupiter conjunction happened, we did switch into a new way of doing it. So we're not so heavily set in that. We're really becoming less tangible in the way that we look at these systems. So it's formulating new things as well. And the other energy that's working with this is Sagittarius. So with Sagittarius, I always see it as a manifestor, and to sort of gain understanding from our experiences. So with this Sagittarian sign that's down the bottom, we can see here, it's the only weapon, this little arrow right in the center. It's the only weapon in the zodiac sign. So for me, instead of firing and trying to really struggle in this quantum reality or in this matrix, it's time to put that weapon down, to put your hands up like the high priestess in the deck of cards, and to start to energetically get in vibrational sync with what it is that you want to call in, and just feel yourself vibrating in that realm, in that frequency of where that you want to go. Now, things will come up. You might have some challenges because anything that's not in vibrational resonance with that will be sifted to the surface to bring that into your awareness. Right. Now, you can either choose to go with that or you can choose to go, no, I'm on the right path. This has only come up as a reminder that I need to keep clearing things. So the next card that we have is Princess of Cups. So she comes in from another realm. Her information, her guidance is coming in from the realm where this swan is on her head. And it's crystalline form. I don't know if you can see, but there's little crystals behind the head of the swan. And she brings them through with the wisdom on their shell. Thank you, Gary. And yeah, you can see here with this violet, with this higher self energy, she brings them through and manifest onto the physical reality. She's working with this higher dimensional resonance and energy of who she is on a quantum level. She's bringing that soul energy down into her avatar. She's using her wisdom and guidance from that heart energy, and she's bringing it and flourishing it out into the world. Now, not only is she doing it for self, she's also being a mirror for others. So this isn't you having to change other people's quantum reality. This is about you staying in your own lane. And I'm getting major goosebumps with this, Spirit's really speaking. Now, doing this, staying in your own lane and doing it for yourself, this is part of the medicine that you bring to the world. And it is about going with the flow too. And that's really, really healing. We've got that beautiful blue background. So I'm just going to close my eyes. They're guiding me to close my eyes to look into these last two. So what I am seeing is the energy of the sun, which is interesting. You were talking about was it coronal mass ejections? I am seeing sort of like magma or like fire come off the sun. But I'm actually hearing, it's like the words of the sun, because like each planet is a living entity within itself too. Yeah. So each tree, each planet. So what I'm feeling with the sun is it's almost like sending pulses to wake us up from a sleep. It's like how you gently would wake a child up from a sleep. So it's like increasing it, coming back, okay, they're still not getting up ready for school, come back in. And then finally, you might need to go in and turn the light switch on. So, the more that we can get into vibrational alignment with where we're going in terms of, we don't need to do this like 1 foot in the other dimension so much anymore. We still might for a little bit, but we are starting to step further, like more of our body into this higher dimensional frequency. So doing things that will bring you into alignment with that will make life a lot easier to hold center. So we'll flip this card. Yeah, we've got Princess of Disc, and we can see that energy of the sun permeating in the background, supporting her. Now she's flipped the world upside down. There's massive change that's come through. Now we have at the bottom of this card, we have this octahedron on her wand. And for me, this is an amazing shape because an octahedron, through the pressure of living in Earth, if we look at fluorite octahedrons, they start off as a cube and go to an octahedron, then go to a cube, then go to an octahedron. Hi, Sophie and Mike. Love you too. And yeah, with these octahedrons, they literally change shape in the earth. They don't stay stationary. They don't stay set. And so this is what we need to do, is start to have this internal change along with the frequency of the earth. So we need to ride those waves. We need to ride these vibrations with her. We can't stay the same as what we were like back in the 80s or back in the 90s or early 2000s. We're constantly changing, constantly morphing. So having a look at what you need to change within yourself that's going to take you on that next wave or that next ride. So we can see here that this is a very strong Aries energy, which is fire. And we talked about like the magma from the sun. But yeah, she's manifesting with this octahedron. And out of all of the platonic solid shapes and geometries, it's an octahedron that we use for manifestation. So if you can visualize, or even if you have a crystal in that shape, I encourage you to hold it and literally start to feel and create with that crystal the reality that you want to live in. So start to feel it coming in and doing things that invoke this sense and this feeling that we talked about on the show before, whether it's music, whether it's about like, what you're wearing, different things like that. So the other thing that I'm being shown is I'm seeing blue come in, and it's funny because I'm hearing, it's one of my manifesting songs. It's a song called Santorini Coffee. I'm just going to play it in the background just so everyone gets an idea of it. It's on one of the top of my playlist.
And while you look for that, Libby was saying last night at 6:30 in the garden had a massive wave of energy hit me. She had to hose down and cool down. Yeah, a lot of people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and wow. Too. This is a big spike. This is a few hours ago too. That's a lot. I was feeling that earlier today too. Lots of like jitteriness. Like, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So more important than ever when this is happening, to first have that awareness of, okay, maybe something energetically is happening. Good to have the Schumann app on your phone to be able to check it. So this is the song. So hear the water, hear the waves. So it's got that nice tropical flow. So they're talking about utilizing things like this with manifesting, holding things in. And then it'll have lyrics kick in. So you can feel that flow come through. So you can feel that flow come through. And that's the powerful thing with music. So utilizing the Kickstarter energy from the Schumann frequency is what they're showing, where I haven't seen that before. It usually is sort of, being in sync or being aware of it. But if we can utilize that to propel us into this next thing. So when we're feeling this energy, thank you. So when we utilize this Schumann frequency and start to propel us further forward, using that as a kickstart, that can be really powerful too. So I'll just see what else we're getting shown. They just keep showing me waves. They keep showing me, it's like feeling that wave, like riding that wave of where you want to go. But I guess it's also, that surfing analogy too. If we're using the Schumann frequency or Schumann resonance to, we've still got to paddle out. We've still got to get up and stand up on that wave. We've got to have that balance, but then we can ride it out. That's the vision they're showing with this. So using like whatever tools and things you can to to help you paddle out into that deep ocean, to get you started, and then to get you standing, to get you balancing. And it's going to take practice. We don't just like all of a sudden stand up on a surfboard and we're a surfer. But then when you get really good at it, you can go through those tunnels, you can catch those waves, you can go into deeper water. So I'll flip this card. This is amazing. Okay, this is the Magnus. To me, this is the ultimate manifester. Can you see, like, there's these waves that we're describing. Here is the quantum reality field, or whatever you want to call it, like a simulated reality. He's shining gold. He's got like all of the Kundalini activated. We can see like around the crown chakra, the Kundalini snakes. Look at the face that he has though. He's kind of like in this joy expression. And in being in that joy, in being in that state, he's drawing everything to him. He's not having to go out and, like chop wood and do the axe thing, even though at times we have to, because hey, we're still in third dimension. Thank you. Love it. I love the little Leo symbol too. Being a Leo. But yeah, you can see this is exactly what they were talking about. So maybe after this show is finished, because I know that sometimes this can, we can get lost on different things, even though it isn't a very visual concept. They really just want that analogy to sink in. That yes, we still have to do the paddle out work. We still have to learn to balance and stand up on the surfboard. But when you get in it, it is a feeling. So when we're surfing and we're balancing, it's the feeling. And I also should say I'm not a surfer, but one of my best friends is a pro surfer. So I can kind of talk of his experience a little. But yeah, when you're in that feeling, you don't paddle out for the hard work or anything. You paddle out to ride the wave. So you've got to enjoy it. You've got to get this kind of like look on your face. You've got to feel in the flow. So that's why Spirit got me to play that song too. It's, one of my manifesting ones, especially if I'm working on manifesting a holiday or, manifesting going to a tropical place. So I hop on the plane next Wednesday, going up to see my partner up at Byron Bay. So I can't wait.
Well, wish you a happy vacation. You need the well-deserved.
It's been a busy time. So yeah, it'll really be just celebrating everything.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and supporting us here in this PayPal tip jar this evening. You guys make it possible for SOLRETA and I to be out here, of course. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So Blaine Guidry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry. He says, hello, SOLRETA and JC. I'd like to know what the cards have for my journey the rest of the year. Thank you, Blaine.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look. Okay. They're telling me to look 5 months in.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got 4 cards. One of the energies that they're showing me towards the end is the sun. So remembering that the sun is a conscious living being, there's also angelic energies that work with the sun. So you might want to include working with these sort of energies in terms of manifesting. The other thing that the sun is about is transformation. It's also a gateway. So just keeping that in mind. They're really showing me, strong being a gateway. So I'm just having a look. Okay, so they're talking about right now focusing on emotional things and focusing on matters of the heart. So they're saying to really work with this to get that support, not only for yourself, but it's like to work on the relationships around, because what they're showing me is different energies that are coming into alignment or into a vibrational distance with your heart are sometimes causing waves and sometimes causing more of a dip than a plateau. So we want to work on these things. So I'll flip this card. Yeah. So we've got the card of cruelty come up around that. So making sure that like you command respect. So anything that's sort of like not, sometimes we can have people around us that put us down, or they perhaps like give projections, things like that. You want to just put a stop to it. And you want to make sure that you are standing in, in your power.
Right.
This is what they're showing, like around the heart chakra, really having it. They're saying the word team around you. And I'm just going to pick a card to get an overall picture. But yeah, I feel that it's really around having a support team around you. And we've got the card of the universe come out of the other deck to represent the overall picture of what they're talking about. So looking at yourself, they're showing me it's almost like floating in the universe. So looking at yourself as that child of the universe, and what is it the universe wants for you? The universe doesn't want you to go through struggle. It doesn't want you to be around people that perhaps don't have your best and highest interest at heart. So you need to like feel that. You need to listen to that and start to bring that into alignment. So let's have a look. So I am seeing it as a learning lesson. I'm getting a lot of yellow. So it's like learning to kind of up your game in regards to who you surround yourself with. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to get like, oh, you can't be around me, or like, I don't like your energy. It's really just making movements further towards what it is that you do want. And then what happens is they're using the word ugliness. Some of the ugliness will show up and you'll be able to be like, I'm sorry, ugliness, but like, you're not really coming to the future with me. So it's really dealing about it gently, and it's not having to stoop to the level of ugliness. It really is maintaining that authentic vibration that you want to put out into the world, and that authentic self. So I'll flip that card. We have the card of wealth. So here is the gold that they were talking about. So you guys know that I read, unless I say the fallen out face up, I read face down. So when we get the same message come up, and it is something that I'm just reading the question. It's Santorini Coffee by Malvito. Beautiful soulful music. So what we have here is, it's the same thing that they were talking about. It's the gold. And look at this. These coins have flipped and been sorted from the purple ones. So we can see that it's got into that higher frequency of where you're going, and you can't take the purple coins with you. So it really is about frequency, it is about resonance and that matching. And this is the 10, a 10 of discs. This is the wealth card. This is like everything unfolding and manifesting to the way of which you desire. It's about things coming to fruition. It's about standing in your power, as we were saying too. So let me just look into these last two cards. The other energy that I'm seeing, so like seeing that happen, and then I'm seeing more like a full power kick in and a phoenix coming up, and it's being shown to me in orange and blue. So this represents healing, and it represents a courageous spirit in moving forward into the future. So I'll flip these two cards. Yeah, here's the phoenix energy. So we have Ace of Swords, which is something new coming, manifesting out of the heavens. This is almost like a hand of God in a way, coming in and saying there's this new thing, there's this new experience for you. But what we have is that final card. Now, remembering I was saying that I saw a sun as the final card, and I saw transformation. What they're showing me is the biggest challenge around this, and this is the card of disappointment. This is some things can no longer go on the journey with you. So it's a 5 of Cups. For me, this is like reassessing. It's like, do we all of a sudden change tracks? Is there things that we can do to help like purify and cleanse this and get it going good? With this, I actually feel like it's changing direction. So we have the kidney energy at the top. Now in Chinese medicine, on a negative level, represents fear. So looking at what fear is holding you back from transformation. What is it that you need to purge? Because these cups started out perfect and purified, but the emotions of like jealousy and bitterness and sort of like a little bit of seething, and you can see that come into that green color in the water. It's a bit choppy, and these little what do you call it, arteries that are flowing to the kidneys. Now, remember, kidneys are our filter for the world. They're not just our emotional filter, but they're our physical filter. So what we also put in on a physical level is really important. But we can see again that orange is in the background asking us to have confidence. And here's the orange and the blue colors that I was talking about that the Phoenix was being shown to me in. So it really is having confidence and healing going forth. Now, if this is something that you've tried to do by yourself for a long time and it just hasn't happened, this is where you need to step outside of what you've tried and try something different. So this is where a lot of clients will come to me to look into, certain situations and have a look at like what the energies are playing out to be. Also, if there's anything else to learn from that lesson, because that's really important, because we don't want to take anything into the future that doesn't need to be there. We want to make sure that we've like squeezed everything out that we needed to from that lesson, so that when we do step into the future, it can be more of what we want and what we desire to create, rather than trying to take the old baggage with us. So then we can check in and see like this quantum quantum realities, and how do we get there? What is the best and the highest path? So yeah, interesting read. Remember, I have that code quantum for those of you that do want to work with these sort of things.
Yeah, let me bring it back up on the screen here for
you.
So Blaine, wow, that was a hell of a reading, man. You're on the cusp of a lot of big changes here, but you also need to make the changes for that to happen. That's what I'm hearing here. There's a lot of decisions to be made in front of you. So don't fear to change, but take that one step at a time. I really love that reading, SOLRETA. And a few people in the chat say, hey, I think she's talking about me. Yeah, I think a lot of people.
Sometimes in this situation, we will also have collective energies come up, but when it's one-on-one, working with me in a private reading, we're definitely like looking into your stuff. But yeah, you will find that sometimes when I'm reading for someone, that you'll also be like, oh, that, and if it does feel for you, like take that on board too, if it does resonate.
Emily Bigelow, thank you so much. She says, JC, you are relentless with all you're bringing out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm working hard. Thank you. Loving what you bring forward. And Emily has a question also. So Emily, hold on for a second here. I'm going to bring your personal question on the screen for SOLRETA next. First, let me deal with the question that's on the chat now. Vanessa Grant is asking for that song. I did find a YouTube version of that, and it is here. And it was
beautiful. Thank you.
Santorini Coffee. So there you go. So I'll bring the link down for the audience if you guys want to go listen.
And you might want to dance to it, Vanessa. I find myself sort of like getting into the rhythm of it when I'm manifesting, because like, we want to feel that quantum energy moving through us too, as JC and I are going to be talking about in the new series that's starting soon.
Right, absolutely. I love it too, because as soon as you played the first few bars, I'm like, oh yeah, you can feel that movement. And this song wants to move. I had to get to
where his voice is too, because his voice is really soulful.
Very cool. Okay. Thank you, SOLRETA. Love the music suggestions. Okay. Jenna says, hey, I've officially booked a couple sessions with SOLRETA.
Oh, yay. That'll be beautiful to meet you, Jenna, your partner.
Awesome. This is my cue to bring back SOLRETA's link and quantum coupon code. So that's now in the live chat. Okay. Running a few things at the same time here. Okay, Emily. Okay, we're back to you. SOLRETA, I would love a card around the business path.
Oh, sure. Let's do that. Okay. So let's tune in and see. Okay, they're just guiding me to work with the psychic tarot. The other thing that I'm seeing too is with business path, they're really actually relentless in the way that they're showing this. So I'm getting a lot of green come up on the left-hand side. So this is heart energy, but it's in tune with intuition. And they're really like, use your heart energy, use your heart energy, use your heart energy in regards to business. I've got crows in the background like echoing that literally just started to chime in. So they're sometimes a messenger. So yeah, definitely using your heart business when it comes to your own business as well. Let me just see what else we have. Yeah, the crows are going. Okay. So I'm just going to flip these two psychic cards. We've got the card of destiny in reverse. And look at this, it's the heart energy. What is it that you're not putting your heart energy into? Or are you only running on sort of like some strength? Is there something that you're holding back? Is there something that you're like, oh, I don't know if the world's ready to see this, or I don't know if, I'm comfortable with sort of sharing that part of myself. We have a little bit of this, but as you can see, when you put it up the right way, and you step in and you, oh, look at that, she's even hands on the heart. How perfect is that? That's exactly what we were talking about, that green with the hands on the heart. But look at it going out and generating into the field. It's literally like being sent and rippling over the flower of life. So we can see here that it really is that quantum energy, but there is that solitude with it. Sometimes like you do need to keep some of the goals to yourself before you send it out and expand that into the universe. So I just feel there's a lot of like gold coming up with it as well. They're also talking about like mystery schools and benefiting from some ancient mystery schools. The other thing that I'm being shown, this was really random, but I feel that the essence and the principle of it comes from a mystery school, and I forget the author, but it's that book, How to Think and Grow Rich. They're showing me the essence of that being, whether it's in an Egyptian manuscript or whether it's like connected to do with Theosophical Society, but they're talking about going deep in this information, this knowledge, and it will help to unlock different things within you. So I'm going to flip this card. Yeah, look at this. We've got the Death Transformation card. Definitely look back into things that were a long, long time ago, the information that's come out, because it's here to transform your life. So I don't feel that it's just a transformation to do with business. I literally feel like it's transforming the other areas of life, because that's the energy I'm hearing with the guides. So like, we don't want to just work on one thing. We want to actually come in and transform multiple things, because if other areas of life improve too, then you're going to have more energy to function with business. And that's what they're showing me. They're like turning the heat up. So this last card that I've got, I'm actually seeing like it's a bluebird. It's not a phoenix this time, but it's just trying to get the image of it. It looks kind of like an eagle or a falcon, and it's got this golden beak and blue energy to it. The other thing that I feel with this, it feels kind of like a Horus energy. So with Horus, he was one of the ones that we connect with the ancient mystery schools to do with the left and the right eye. So to do with the pineal gland, to do with, psychic training, things like that. So I'll flip this card. We have the card of love. So this is definitely something to do with the psychic side of things, to pare back and look at what you're putting out there on an energetic level. But it's definitely about heart chakra. It's definitely about love. And it definitely seems to filter into more than just the business level. So really exciting energies around that. So perhaps having a look for that book might even be on Audible, or, which might be a quick study rather than having to sit there. You might be able to do it while you're, working away in the background, listening.
You were talking, there's two books here in particular in this series, but you were talking about this one, Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Napoleon Hill, that's the name.
Right. And the other one was, I had it in Audibles a couple of months ago. I re-listened to it again. What was it called? It's all about how to manifest abundance and how the elite use this tactic to bring abundance to their life. And now I can't find it for the love of me. It's almost the same title, Think Rich or Grow Rich or something like that, or How Money Works. I forget how it was. And of course, it's not 3D, chasing money type of book. It's about bringing abundance to your life. It's a completely different frequency.
It's based on, esoteric principles and things as well. So it really is how you sort of like interact within yourself, but how you meet others in the world too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Okay, so let me go back here. We have other questions here in the chat. So let me see. Yolanta. Okay. Yolanta is asking when, so maybe we can do a one card draw on this one, a quicker one. When will I be able to travel international? Oh, let me bring that up for you guys. Yolanta, when will I be able to
sure. Let's have a look.
Again, let's do that. And then there's a few more questions here. We'll try to get through those as well.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look.
And somebody just sent me a question also through my Facebook page. I've never done that before, so I'm going to try to pull it on the screen here as well. Okay. All right. So that is for Yolanta, this one. And thank you again, Yolanta, for supporting the show. You're often giving us some tips, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah. So the energy that I'm feeling, they're showing me a 3. This is interesting though. What I'm being shown when I see a 3, it feels a little bit like met with, thank you, Emily.
Very good.
I just love my job.
Yeah.
So the energy that I'm being shown with Jolanta as well is I'm being shown 3, But then what I'm seeing, this is really bizarre. I'm seeing like this serpent with like big fangs and like a tongue coming out. Whether there's something that's coming in the mix, depending on like where she lives, whether there's something else that's coming in to try and like upset travel plans. You know, sometimes like most people across the world have tend to notice that, you know, things get shut down around holidays, and around things that we all look forward to, whether it's Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. All of these things have been shut down for us here in Melbourne. So yeah, I'm just seeing this serpent energy is really strong, and it feels very external, and it feels very, I'm being shown like spirit able to defeat it though. So it doesn't feel, but it's there to scare and there to sort of like raise its head, ugly head. I'm going to flip this card. See, oh my gosh. Okay. We've got the card of the devil. So that makes sense why I'm seeing that, but this was in reverse. So this is kind of talking about, even if you see things, you know, fear, talking about, you know, threats and things like that, you need to like go into your heart to see what your truth is, how you feel about this. So even though you might see that serpent rear its ugly head, you know, how do you feel about this? Do you feel that it's just an idle threat? So I have an example of that. So last time I went up to Queensland, what I found was on the news the day before, they're talking about, you know, there's going to be lockdowns and things like that. And one of my best friends traveled up the day before. Her and her husband and kids flew back home because of what the news was saying and what people were saying, you know, they're going to be locked down and everything. And I'm like, I don't feel that. Like, I feel okay about it. So I still flew up there, enjoyed my holiday. And my poor friend had to, you know, come back home, was home for a few days. And then she's like, oh, I realized it was just fear. And it was like getting caught up in everything. So they ended up having to drive all the way back, which was a 25-hour drive with two small children. They're only like 2 and I think 5. But yeah, we really sometimes need to listen to what our heart's saying, not all of the fear around us. So really taking that on board when it comes to travel.
Okay, very good. The next one here is the one from Facebook. I think I can pull that in. I'm just retyping it now here so that I can bring it to the screen. Okay, so I think this will work. If I put that in the chat, does that come up? I think it did. Okay, so the question, SOLRETA, from Vivi, question, what is my mission after self-healing? I would love a card around my mission path. I have a goal to work with women.
This is really beautiful. I actually feel that you don't just have a goal to work with women, but you have a goal to teach women. And this is coming in as the channeled message on the left-hand side. Your intuition's guiding you to things that you need to put in place to take you onto the path of where you want to go, is what I'm being shown with this. So really listening to if there's like that inner calling to, whether it's to go get that certificate, go get that bit of paper to lead you to the future that you want. They're talking about not delaying. It's like still starting that now. So I'm really getting that coming strong. But this yellow is coming in with gold, and it's like a lemon shade of yellow, which is the learning and innocence with an open heart. It's a sense of wonderment with learning. It's not like having to, you know, like study and it's like, oh, it needs to get in and soak in. This is like real open-hearted learning. It's something that, you know, fascinates you. It's something that enchants you. But then there's spirit coming with this. So I'll flip this card. It's harmony. So spirit is really trying to work in harmony with you in creating this mission. So definitely like go into that heart space, step into that core of, they're showing me there's 2 ways of doing it. There's the way of stepping into the energy of like what's happened. There's the way of being a beacon and a guiding light forth for others to follow you out of the energies that have been trapping them. So this is why spirit is coming in on a really high level with this gold mixed with the yellow. So not only is it about the learning of how to help guide them and to have the piece of paper and things, but it is spirit coming in saying, don't forget to be a beacon. It's easy to get stuck in what was, but to be that beacon, that guiding light to shine out. They're just asking me to pick another card to echo this. So we'll flip this because I know we're shorter on time. Look at this, the card of valor. This the main wand in the middle. This is about coming out of illusion and it's not about sinking into the background. We can see that this wand at the front stands alone while the other wands are behind. So there's definitely, utilize you being that beacon of light to help guide others out the way. And it was gold. It was gold and purple, spiritual mission.
Well, Vivi, I hope that makes sense to you. It does make sense to me. I know a little bit more about who's asking this question. And so, Solreta, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Okay. Hey, my friend Mariam Hanin is in the chat. She says, hey, can I ask a question? Sure. Of course, Mariam, you can always ask a question.
Hey.
She's asking Florida or Costa Rica. What's that? Sorry,
I love her shows too.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
Was it Florida or Costa Rica? Okay, let me pick which deck we're going for. We're going for this one. All right. I'm still hearing that music in the background. Spirit was playing before.
Let me bring it back up on the screen.
Yeah.
See if they're just joining us.
This is interesting. Okay, they've picked 2 for Costa Rica. And it's funny, that music to me speaks more of Costa Rica than it does Florida. They're still playing it in the background. I can hear Spirit. It's so funny. Sometimes when you hear Spirit play the music and song, you can hear it so clear. But if you're to try and speak the lyrics, they just don't come out. It's really, it's like listening to the radio. It's so interesting. So with the Florida energy, I actually feel like there's some stuff to learn. There's more to learn. There's kind of like a couple of entanglements, or feeling like there's these blips come up. And what I mean by entanglements is sometimes when we've still got some things to close off, or still some things on a soul level to learn, sometimes certain places will throw us into challenge, is the words that I'm trying to look for to describe. So I feel that there's more challenge and more kind of like, almost like, say if you're walking with a rope and you're like trying to drag this bus, and then there's people in opposition pulling you back in where you're trying to drag this big weight. I'm seeing that come up to do with Florida. So we'll flip the card. And I've got a 3 of Wands, which represents that initial achievement, initial growth usually, but on a spiritual level. But sometimes we can still get the challenges come in, but we can see the doorway. We can see that beautiful guiding light of where it is that we want to go. We can see that intention. So let me also see what we have in regards to Costa Rica. It's funny, I can hear the birds in the background again. Just, they tend to chime in at particular times. So we've got the crows are back. So let me just see. The feeling that I get with this feels a lot more like living from a heart space, a lot more actually living within the moment. It doesn't feel like as much struggle. I don't feel like I'm being like pulled back in, and it was interesting because it was actually really people in particular I felt trying to pull. So let's have a look. Okay, this is interesting. So we have the Daughter of Swords. Look at the power in this, and there's 7 stars around this, whether this is the Pleiades system. So this is a really powerful card. This actually came up with the 2 of Cups, which, look at this, the roses. Sometimes this is the card to do with romance. Sometimes it's a card to do with, possibly even having 2 to pick over. In this situation. But yeah, we can see these are really beautiful, positive cards. So let me just pick one more out of the other deck to get an overall feel. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So for Costa Rica, we've got moving on. And for Florida, we've got emotional loss. So that echoes what the other cards were sort of saying, that, there's more things to pull you emotionally. And, but yeah, look at this, Costa Rica, new door opening. Look at this beautiful golden light. This is literally heading into a different dimensional space. I saw you living more from that heart essence. And I keep hearing Spirit play the music. You're living in the moment over there compared to feeling like things are still a bit of a struggle. So I hope that makes sense to you, Marianne. And lovely to see you on here.
Yeah, she says thank you, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Mariam and I had a few conversations on this already, and yeah, I love the way you just positioned those cards. That was amazing. Okay, folks, thank you so much. There's a bunch of questions, but we're running out of time. Solreta and I
Yeah.
have to go after this, and Solreta has a reading to go do now for a client. So we have maybe 5 minutes left. So what I'll do, Solreta, I'll take one more question from the PayPal tip jar. We'll do that one. It's really on a positive note too, so we can end on that, and maybe you can give us also just last words of wisdom after the show to stay away from fear frequency, but to get into that empowerment. So here's the question. Let me bring that up. It's from Crystal Cottage. Thank you so much for that donation. And the question is, I feel like something flipped into a giddy joy for humanity. Can you see anything for mankind?
Yeah, what a great question. I love that.
Yeah.
And do you know what they're showing me? As soon as you read that to me, JC, what I felt was just I'm just feeling the energy of this beautiful person, and just how some people don't just live life for themselves. Some people like live life and it's like they hold, humanity, or they like, live to make the world a better place. That's what I'm seeing, like energy wise.
Yeah.
So let's have a look with Crystal Cottage. Oops. I just saw the card.
I thought it'd be the perfect question to end the show on.
Yeah, and I just saw the card of change come up to do with that. And I'm just hearing them quote, like, be the change. You are literally being the change. All right, so they just told me to pick a card from what's holding humanity back, and then one to do with this giddy change. And with the giddy change, when I touched the card, I felt that same sort of like gold with yellow. So there's something around that. We'll flip them because I know we're going really quick. Okay, so we've got the Lovers card come up to do with challenges and things. Spirit is there in the unseen and in the visible, but we need to show up. We can't be late to the ceremony. It's really, really important that we work not just with each other. And look at this. It's all the different things, like the oppositions that the other narrative is trying to make us feel separate. But look at this, we're all coming together, and Spirit is there going, come on guys, you've got it, you can do it. So we've got that energy. And in the other one, there's that gold that I was seeing come in really big. This is Knight of Discs. This is like that new change, that new era. We're heading into this new place. Can you see? It looks like a new dimension as well in the background. So this is the energy of where we're going. Now asking me to pick one more to do with this. The Star. So there's that giddy energy that you're getting. So the Star, to me, she's this beautiful ET energy in my favorite deck of cards, in the Thoth deck. And she holds one hand up to the universe to fill her cup. And through the attunement of who she is on a vibrational frequency, through her hair as an antenna, that the magic and the mystery of the universe flow through her, and she brings that to the earth. So this is that giddy energy. The universe is filling your cup with this energy. And so, bring that and flourish that out to where you go. Let that be spontaneous and contagious. Amazing. Good question.
Awesome. I love it. All right, Solreta, in the last 2 minutes that we have left, you and I are in a rush here. Words of encouragement, and how can I say this too? Not just encouragement, but wisdom, nuggets of wisdom for the audience right now. There's still a lot of fear out there, and people are wondering what's going on, whether that's with their financial system, their governance system, the health crisis around the world. Let's tune them into a positive frequency and timeline so that they can focus on that and make that the reality.
Definitely. And I just had 2 cards literally fall face out of my deck to do with this. So here's that energy that you just spoke about. So this is cruelty. This is that energy of what we're letting go of. We're standing up in opposition to that energy. But it's not having to actually stand up and go, I really oppose this, even though at times we have to, because we are in that third dimension. This is almost like, you know what? I'm just going to turn this around and reverse it, and everything that you're trying to throw at me, I'm just going to let it fall out and drop away. So it's like arrows that are just falling off that shield. So the other energy that we did fall out at the same time is the Star. And we just described this with Crystal's last question as well. So this is my favorite card in the deck. This represents, I feel, my role and my path here on the earth. And with my clients, this is definitely the energy that I work with. But we can see here, this is something we can all embrace, filling our cup up to what the universe has to offer, up to that higher frequency, bringing it down through us, and us getting into vibrational alignment with it. So we need to empty the cup of what's no longer needed so that we can flow what it is that we bring through as transformation. We can see the crystals are actually solidifying, and it takes a long time to have these diamonds be made under pressure, but we're ready for it. And here we have butterflies and roses. That's transformation. That's Christ consciousness energy. So we're doing it. We really are.
Awesome. I love the frequency of that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing way to finish the show. Wow. Thank you so much, SOLRETA. Man, these hours go by so fast.
They do, like a blink.
Like a blink. So folks, if you want more of SOLRETA, of course, you can find her at solretapsychicreadings.com. The booking code for this week, the coupon code is quantum, one word, in high caps. And of course, please do go and subscribe to her channel. SOLRETA is now making the leap of faith here to start this full time. So she's going to be producing material there, and you don't want to miss that. So go ahead and subscribe to SOLRETA Anteria here on YouTube. And finally, last but not least, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe if you're here on this channel at Beyond Mystic, and share the content. I think at the very least, let's do this energy exchange with you guys. SOLRETA and I are working hard here, but share the content for the people who you think are ready to hear this and to empower themselves. That's what this show is all about. And SOLRETA and I really appreciate your help in spreading this message, this word of hope and empowerment, and walking away from fear and moving closer to power. That's what it's all about. So folks, that was episode 5 of Simulated Reality with SOLRETA. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic. Have a great evening, everyone. Have a great weekend. Au revoir.
Thank you.